Hi, here's a quick tutorial on how to use the mailing system. We go to the site mylistgrows.com and we put in our the directory that we used for this particular mailing list, and this is the admin area that we see. Um, this navigation on the left, the mailing, subscribers, and setup, it's the only, these three are the same as the ones on the bottom: mailing, subscribers, and setup. So there's really basically 3 pages to go, unless you want support or to log out, and this is the admin page. So it's a pretty simple system. If you go to the setup area, either here or here, you'll see that, 3 more areas open up, and which correspond to the 3 areas here. I've already configured it, but you can look in there and see, you could change your password. Um, Password that I used was the one that you were given, and you can change the administrator email, which I picked this email, which I will redirect to. If I haven't done so already, or I haven't done it already, but I'll redirect that to your email address, or we could just use your email address, but this one just looks more professional. When your users see it. And then you can call the list name whatever you want. I picked this, but you can pick whatever you want, and you can also pick what site it goes to when people click on it. So, and of course you can. There's there is an automatic success URL, like when people successfully subscribe, and an automatic confirmation one that already comes up. But it would be kind of nice if we just made our own, so it would be just a little more professional and just more interesting and better, and more control over it. So, and you can click whether you want people to be validated when they email, whether you want them to be double opt-in, which I recommend since it's federal law to keep that on. Okay, don't change the mail exchanger, because there's these are the 3 choices, and this is the one that works best for us. So, the other items that you can change is who do you want it to say it comes from. You may not want your letters, when you send them to your subscribers, you may not want it to say that it's coming from Brian. You may want it to say, free stuff site, or whatever you want it to say. And again, the email that you want it to look like it's coming from, and where you want the bounces to go. Okay. Nothing on there needs to be changed. And this is all set up for you. I've got it set up to notify, whatever this address right here, this email address, when there's a subscription or an unsubscription, but not when people update their information. Okay. So that's all fine. And then you can change this stuff here, this is like when someone subscribes, what do you want it to say to them? These are the standard ones that it comes with, or we can send them to an actual page if you'd prefer. But other than that, this is real easy to set up, so you can just look at it and say, well, what do I want it to say when people first sign up to my list, or they unsubscribe? Like some people, when people unsubscribe, they say, "Oh, we're so sorry to see you go. Are you sure you want to leave? Blah blah blah, stuff like that. Can you check out our site right now, or whatever." And then after they've confirmed, some people say congratulations or thanks or whatever. Okay. So that's pretty straightforward. Back to the end. That was the configuration, the setup settings. Here's where you actually do your mails, and you can create, or you can look at the history of a mailing that you already did. So here, I'm going to set up a subject, and I'm going to say testing our mail system, and I'm going to send it to all subscribers, and I'm going to say it's from Brian, and the from email will be that, which I believe I have that coming to my Gmail account. Bounces can go there, and that's also a real email that I set up. So anyways, the template, I just skipped this, but you can choose a template or upload templates later, but you really won't need one because I think the best, most effective emails don't have a lot of crap in them. They're just real nice. Now this is what it looks like when you go to write your email, and I think it's quite nice if I do say so myself. It's got pretty much every option you can think of, for writing a nice email. You can put a link, you can hyperlink things, anchor, you can add pictures. You can add a picture to it. So, you can change the font. You can change the font or bold or I don't know how to spell italicize. Whatever. And even add pictures. And so we can add a picture here. You will need a URL for a picture. So shoot, we'll just pick anything. I don't know. Gosh, let's go to Google. Hurry up. I had to pick the world's slowest page. Okay. Well, here is a picture, and I can copy the image URL. My computer's kind of freaking out for some reason. And then, let's see, add the picture. And then I'll put the URL there. Olympics. You don't really need to worry about alt text, but you might want to in case you have a deaf blind person, something like that. Anyways, you can change the width and height and all that stuff, which you probably should play around with that if you need to. You can also, figure out how you want to align it. And all these are really cool features, I think. So, now that it's aligned to left, I can throw all this over here, and it looks better that way. So, and then I wanted to change the font to comic, and we'll bold something, and we'll italicize something, and even add pictures. We'll underline. How's that? And I'll cross that out because I just think it's cool to be able to do it. So, oh yeah, you can also hyperlink stuff, of course. And for the hyperlink, I'm going to put in my cool site. So there. Alright, so anyways, then as far as, the text thing, you always want to have a text thing just in case people have some strange system where they can't. I hope you didn't miss that, but you can just push copy text from HTML message and it'll go there. But that's a good idea just in case somebody doesn't have HTML abilities on their email. I don't know who the hell that would be, but you never know. So anyways, you can save it, just continue. You could save it as a template. That's not really important because we didn't really do anything special. So anyways, I'm going to send this to all subscribers, and or I could send a test mail just to myself, which is a good idea sometimes when you're, especially if you're mailing to 12,000 people, you want to make sure send it to yourself, make sure it all looked right. But I'm sure that this one's fine, so I'm sending the test mail, boom, and it's done. And it's really fast too. So I'm sure if I go to my mailbox right now, see, there it is, Brian testing our mail system. Oh, I spelled system wrong, so I should have tested it, but whatever. So, and with Gmail you have to display the images, or you can always display the images, but I have it set up where it doesn't. So here's what it looks like. Here's an example of our system, blah blah blah, add pictures, hyperlink, and of course the hyperlink works. Goes to this beautiful site here. God, I love this site. Whoever did this was a genius. So, pretty cool. Anyways, one last thing I wanted to go over. You can just go to the admin page. But anyways, mailings. I'm sorry, subscribers. This is where you can set up all your lists and stuff like that. The other thing about the list was the subscription form. So this is really simple. You have three choices. Really they're all about the same, but if you want to embed it on your site, just pick the embed. Okay, and there's the mini and the full. Let's try the full one. Here's the preview, and all you got to do is copy and paste or Control C, whatever you want to do. Go to whatever website you're using. In this case, I'm looking at SitePig, and I set up a page called Sample. Oh, I guess I had two. Whatever. I guess this one was from today. Sample forward page. I don't know. Okay, so I'm in the HTML. You don't want to be in visual if you're using WordPress. If you're using Dreamweaver, it's just even more simple, or same thing, but just type in or paste in the HTML. In this case, I just pasted it in right there, and there it is. And I can publish it, or I can look at it and preview it, whatever. But when I go to view it, let's see what it looks like. Hopefully it looks good. Yep, it looks good. Okay, it says join newsletter. Field marked like this are required. I could have spent more time setting this up where instead of saying join newsletter, it says get free stuff. But anyways, people put their email in and push subscribe, and there you go. So that was pretty simple. So if you have any questions.